All right, this has been reported in two or three places. Let's go. I voted for this and deport them all. Breaking. President Trump announces full suspension of third world immigration and states that the policy, this is now reverse migration. So we're continuing to export more people and we're continuing to stop the immigration into this country. So it's a matter of survival. See what happens with this. Um, the one gal died as a National Guard soldier, and they're sending, 500 more troops, I think, into D.C. I don't know how much of this is true or not, but there are 500 more National Guard ordered into Washington, D.C. after the shooting. I don't know if this is a form of martial law. It may be. I don't know. I wouldn't jump to guns. First, I think we're systematically looking at cities that are in trouble with crime and other things. I think there are a lot of sleeper cells out there, and there are people that have been imported into this country to do some damage. And it could be from several countries: South America, China, could be from Europe, could be from Africa. I think we need to consider our immigration laws a lot more strictly. And if we're limiting people coming into the country from third world countries, and we're stopping that, and we're deporting more people, I think those are good. We have to protect this country, and we're at a crisis time, both financially, morally, and otherwise. We'll see how all this plays out. But it's time to buckle down and hunker down because we're in a tough situation, and Trump is, and so is this nation. And we got traitors from the inside and from the outside wanting to destroy this nation. These will be our final battles before Christ comes. No two ways about it. Remember the Palisade fires? This is a spec home that was built before or worked on being built before. Now they're trying to promote it as covering from the fires. They're just lying.
There's one problem with all of this. It was a developer project that was in the works before the fires even happened. That's right. This house wasn't even one of the average homes destroyed by fires. And she's trying to make it seem like they just rebuilt the house. No, this is a spec home that they were building before. And this is the type of home that you could actually build. So they didn't do anything, actually. And you can see the whole thing's completely and utterly falling apart around her, just like pretty much everything else. And when you really look at this, these
All right, let's continue. We get more from X22 reports.
and this was during Biden and way before Biden. And we could see out in Memphis, we see that Bondi's team, Cash's team out there, they're working with local law enforcement and they're making a huge amount of arrests and they're making the city safe again. Rapid Response 47 put this out and said the following. AG Pam Bondi announces more than 3,100 arrests, 500 illegal weapons seized, and 121 missing children located since the deployment of the Memphis Safe Task Force. Murder rates cut in half, crime rates in Memphis at their lowest level in 20 years. So when the governor of Tennessee is seeing this, he's realizing, wow, this is absolutely incredible. Why wasn't this being done in the city before? Because when you look at the city, is there a Democratic mayor? Very, very interesting. And all we had to do, and it's a very simplistic approach, is those people that are committing crimes, you just incarcerate them. That's it. It works every single time. And the president of El Salvador admits it. He says you can literally incarcerate your way out of violence. That's precisely why incarceration exists in the first place, of actually knowing who you are, keeping track of what you're doing, and soon they're going to be using this against you. That's really what that means. And you can see that all the other nations like the UK and Germany and France are all on board with this. But again, It's not going to happen here in America, so this is going to be a little bit more difficult for the deep state players because, again, if America doesn't follow suit, well, it doesn't work well out in the other countries eventually. Just have deep state operatives within the Pentagon, within the FBI, within the DOJ. Remember, we need to remove all of these people. We can't have roadblocks like this. Remember, the deep state have spent years, not 5 years, not 10 years, over 20 years implementing their system, creating their criminal syndicate. Right now, Trump and team have been working very, very hard for 10 months to try to undo everything that they set up. I think they're doing a pretty darn good job right now, and I think in the end,
So in Ukraine, what's going to happen?
this month, 25,000 soldiers died. The original 28-point peace plan, which was drafted by the United States, has been fine-tuned with additional input from both sides, and there are only a few remaining points of disagreement. In the hopes of finalizing this peace plan, I have directed my special envoy, Steve Witkoff, to meet with President Putin in Moscow, and at the time, Secretary of the Army Dan Driscoll will be meeting with the Ukrainians. I will be briefed on all the progress made, along with Vice President J.D. Vance, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, and White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles. I look forward to hopefully meeting with Zelensky and Putin soon, but only when the deal, and he capitalized only, by the way, when the deal to end this war is final or in its final stages. Thank you for your attention to this very important matter, and let's all hope that peace can be accomplished as soon as possible. President DJT. So once again, we could see the deep state players, they're going to push back. They're going to try whatever they possibly can, just like they're doing with the leaked phone calls. And I wouldn't be surprised to look out for any type of false flag. Now, again, I'm not saying there's going to be one, but again, information from HHS. So he stole backup federal data to keep it outside of RFK Jr. led HHS control. Now, this, of course, is a violation of several federal statutes, including unauthorized removal or destruction of public records, 18 U.S.C. Section 2071, theft or conversion of government property, 18 U.S.C. Section 641, Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, 18 U.S.C. Section 1030.
Some of this stuff is just insane. The corruption.
So they're going to have to do something, which means they're going to fire all the woke teachers and they're going to bring in the best of the best and they're going to try to compete. That's what's really going to happen. And we can see that this is approaching very, very quickly, which is going to be great for this country. And as we get rid of all the criminals in this country, it's going to make this country even better. I mean, think about it. The individual, the Democratic Congresswoman, Sheila McCormick, she has surrendered to authorities after allegedly laundering $5 million in FEMA funds. She even bought a 3.14 carat yellow diamond ring. So this is where the money went. $2.4 million transferred into the bank account of McCormick's consulting company. $1.2 million routed to relatives. $830,000 moved into an account where the congressman was an authorized signer. $334,000 sent to a co-defendant. $190,000 transferred to a company associated with her brother. $109,000 allegedly used to purchase the now infamous 3.14 carat fancy yellow diamond ring. This is absolutely unbelievable. This is money laundering 101 right here. That's what you're looking at. And think about it. She's not the only one that did this. That's why in the very beginning when Trump and team with Elon, Doge, they were looking into everything. This is why Trump mentioned kickbacks, because these people have been money laundering this money to themselves. And I do believe very soon you're going to find out that all of these, most of the people.
Join ICE.
And we could see that Mamdani, he's basically back to his old tricks again. He went to visit Trump, and I do believe Trump pretty much exposed him in what happened in the White House. Now he went back to New York, and now everyone can see this very, very clearly. More than 400 New Yorkers are joining his transition team, he says, all driven by the urgency of tackling the affordability crisis. Now, it looks like the New York City Council, they're already submitting documents saying that they would like a pay raise. So is he going to give them a pay raise? This is very, very interesting. But the other thing that's really interesting is the person who he chose to join his transition team. And Stu Smith put this out and said, professor who calls police class enemies has now joined Mamdani's transition team. So Professor Alex Vitale explained on a DSA call that cops are the natural enemy of the working class and that individual officers do not matter because the structure itself neutralizes their humanity. This is the world view Mamdani is bringing into the city government. Oh, that should be very, very interesting.
Unfortunately. The seditious six, their day is coming.
Best the last few days to frame the Sedition Six in terms of U.S. and world history. So I thought I would consolidate links to those posts in a single post for folks who may have not seen them. History is hugely important in this context as people need to understand certain precedents that illustrate the following points. Number one, what the Seditious Six have done is unprecedented since the Civil War. Number two, historic U.S. military success in some cases may never have happened had the Seditious Six had a say at the time. Number three, the exercise of lethal force we are seeing again, the invading drug boats in both legal and consistent with past U.S. actions by some our great presidents, and is consistent with the Monroe Doctrine. Number four, the act of undermining a nation's military through perfidious information ops is a classic behavior of fascists and communists. History speaks and should be our guide. And he's absolutely right. And you can see this is exactly what they're trying to do. Now, what's very interesting about this, and Data Republican tracked this down, or should I say Erica actually tracked this down, and then Data Republican expanded on this. So Erica says, under the website, they first sent out their memo about refusing illegal orders on 11/11. Data Republican said, excellent find. I think we're getting very, very warm as to whose NGO's idea it was to have the senators produce a video about refusing illegal orders. The National Lawyers Guild issued a document about refusing illegal orders on November 11th. And now they have partnered with the Win Without War to advertise seditious adjacent behavior on billboards. And Win Without War has multiple congressional liaisons on their About page. National Lawyers Guild is an infamous supporter of Antifa per Andy No, which of course is now a foreign terrorist organization. This appears to be the guy who wrote the memo for November 11th Military Law Task Force. And she's pointing to this introduction. And it says, welcome to jmbranham.com, the online home of J.M. Branham Enterprises and James M. Branham. I wear several metaphorical hats, including attorney, editor, writer, interfaith minister, peace and social justice activist. So then we have Lee Marcotte. She says, Win Without War, a fiscally sponsored project of the Center for International Policy, declares on its website that it stands with the senators and insists it is not seditious to remind service members of the oath they swore. The National Immigration Project of the National Lawyers Guild is a physically sponsored project of the Alliance for Global Justice, and the NLG as a whole is widely recommended as the primary legal contact and support provider for participants in pro-Palestine and immigration protests. Win Without War is a fiscally sponsored project of the Center for International Policy, as disclosed on CIP's 2019 IRS Form 990. The Center for International Policy is a progressive think tank advocating for non-militaristic U.S. foreign policy centered on diplomacy, transparency, human rights, and solutions to war, corruption, inequality, and climate change. CIP's major funders include Open Society Foundation, George Soros, Carnegie Corporation of New York, Rockefeller Brothers Fund, Charles Koch Foundation, David and Lucille Packard Foundation, and McKnight Foundation, among others. So it's all connected once again. And those unelected people have what? They instructed these people, start the coup. And this is exactly what they're doing. This tells you everything you need to know. Right. Massive partisan dragnet aimed at crippling the Republican Party and eliminating political opposition. These records are only the tip of the iceberg. And that is absolutely true. But you can see how the deep state players are trying to divide the administration and we the people. Because think about it, every single day that comes out, more and more evidence comes out against them. So all they have left is divide the people, riots, and then war. And a story came out from MS Now saying that Trump is going to be removing Kash Patel. Think about that for a second. Carolyn Levitt says, this story is completely made up. In fact, when this fake news published, I was in the Oval Office where President Trump was meeting with his law enforcement team, including FBI Director Kash Patel. I read the headline to the president and he laughed. He said, "What? That's totally false. Come on, Kash. Let's take a picture to show them you're doing a great job. Do not believe the fake news because the news. Kash Patel is on his way out. Fake news. Putin rejected the 28-point plan. Fake news. They leaked the transcript with Witkoff. Think about that for a second. And they're trying to create division between the different agencies with Gabbard and the FBI and everyone else. So in the last 24 hours, they've been putting out a lot of fake information. Why? To divide the people. It's the highest ever inflation, sky high prices, open borders, transgender for everybody, DEI, and unlimited violent crime that they caused and allowed until we came back into office this year. Republicans must do what is necessary to stop the destruction of our country by these people who hate America and are so ungrateful for the opportunities our nation has given them. Our country and democracy is special, and we must do everything we possibly can to defend it from the far left infiltrators who want to destroy it. I'm glad to hear the Indiana House is stepping up to do the right thing, and I hope the Senate finds the votes. If they do, I will make sure that all of these people supporting me win their primaries and go on to greatness. But if they don't, I will partner with the incredibly powerful MAGA grassroots Republicans to elect strong Republicans who are ready to do what is needed to protect our country and make America great again. Absolutely. And you can see that